So welcome everybody once again. Welcome to the Lenovo Live podcast here directly from Euroshop 2023. And I have here with us like my dear friend for the second time. We got a podcast already. Philipp Müller, CEO at Cyangatrix, and I give you the pleasure to introduce yourself.
Well, thanks for having me. My name's Philipp. I co-founded Signatrix in 2017. We're here with two partners, so thanks for having us. Thanks for doing this show. We're a computer vision company for retail. We provide a platform that makes it easy for retailers to deploy AI on the edge in their store to sort of enable them to use a multitude of use cases. So happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Amazing. So you mentioned computer vision, and now we know that nowadays computer vision is everywhere. Like they show, it's one of the technology related to what we call today AI, deep learning, that is showing most of the success in the implementation in a variety of industries, like going from manufacturing for quality inspection to retail now. Can you give us to me and to the public out there a little bit of your view of in-store analytics and visual analytics, and enlighten us on what it is and what kind of challenges he might solve.
Yeah, happy to. So I think when we started, we're so very technical looking into this, more from a we want to do deep learning. Where do we get data kind of perspective? And it turned out sort of that retail is just sitting on quite a lot of it. So basically every store that you enter, well, not everyone, but most of them, they're sort of full of cameras. You'll have like something, I don't know, 10 to 70 or something like that, and they put them there for basically people to look at them. But it turns out that it's just so much data that people just aren't able to view all of this footage. And at the same time, if you sort of compare offline commerce to online commerce, you see that sort of in online you have sort of very good visibility into your sort of customer-facing processes, whereas in offline retail this is sort of much harder to achieve, right? Because you kind of can sort of see when people come in, you can see the transactions that you have, you can sort of see your merchandise move, but it's sort of
anything.
It's like everything. It's like a black box, right? Yeah. And at the same time, you have these sensors. So basically, I think sort of the idea of sort of why we started this, like why can we not turn this into something that is actually insightful and sort of valuable for retailers? So I think if you have to describe it, I think sort of computer vision for in-store is basically the process of achieving that. So how do I sort of make visible and make understandable what's happening in that store, and for that use computer vision.
So it's not only having more eyes, it's also like having more eyes and more minds looking at what they see and understanding what is going on, and also elaborating what could be the value, or what kind of value you can extract from what you are seeing in terms of customer behavior. It might be customer preferences, etc. That is interesting. And what and I already understand what can be the big shift for a retail owner, like a retail customer. But can you elaborate more? What are the possibilities when implementing this solution into the retail industry?
Yeah, sure. So we started with sort of the whole security kind of thing, because we thought, why would they put these cameras there, right? It's usually for sort of safety and security kind of measures. So we sort of started by automating this and sort of building a bunch of use cases around theft, security, loss prevention, stuff like that, where you look at sort of people's behavior, you look at shopping carts, you look at shopping baskets, basically sort of the methods by which loss is created in the store by customers. But this is sort of just a beginning, right? So as you mentioned, you look like, what's happening in the store, right? People are moving, people are interacting with shelves, people are interacting with products. So people are moving through the store, product is moving through the store, employees moving through the store, right? So basically you want to get all of these interactions right. So you have, a sort of, I think, next to security, I think you have a lot of like on-shelf availability. right? Are the products where the products are supposed to be, given what you have in your planogram or something like that? Is there sort of merchandise for the customer to buy? And I think another one that you could answer that is otherwise very difficult to answer is something like, is the product actually at the right place from a customer perspective?
Like in terms of layout, you mean? Like how
like,
do you display that
people
product?
Searching?
Yeah.
Right?
Or are
they
people looking or seeing that product that I want them to buy?
Yeah. And it could even be sort of, is the store done right? Are people moving through it in the way that you like, be that very effective or very ineffective? So it could be both. So another thing is sort of, then if you go sort of, you started, you did your shopping, you want to go out. It's like there's a lot of things that you can do to basically improve the checkout experience, sort of help customers get out there faster, easier, and sort of I think you see this moving from sort of checkout to self-checkouts that sort of that can have a lot of computer vision to assist to sort of mobile scanning applications that use computer vision. To then also, obviously, I haven't mentioned it, but it's obviously a big deal if you talk about sort of computer vision and AI and retail. It's obviously just sort of frictionless and autonomous shopping, right? Where you try and sort of automate the checkout in a way where you don't rely on sort of traditional checkouts.
And also in terms of surveillance, for example, you don't want to bother people in the process, or sometimes like it's inconvenient when it's clear that somebody like is acting criminally in that context, and you don't want to create a drama show within the store. So you have a nicer way and a frictionless way to handle those kinds of problems. Or it might be that somebody unintentionally goes and forgets something in the cart, right? And you don't want to treat them as criminal. You want to, make something that doesn't look too aggressive for those customers that are going. Exactly. So that is interesting. Now I see, like, we started from one point that you mentioned, like the existing, like the existence of cameras within the store. So they have already something there that is creating this data that you leverage for your application. And this might make me think that there is actually an entry point to deploy that application. I want to know on the other side, what are the challenges when it comes to implementing this kind of solution to traditional brick and mortar store or completely new stores?
Yeah, so it's a good one. So I think there's probably a bunch of them. So I think first you could say like, okay, can I not do this in the cloud? Okay, that would be nice. But it's usually not possible because sort of the stores don't have the bandwidth to get all the video out. Sometimes they don't want to do it for sort of data security reasons.
The store is not like an IT center.
No, exactly, and also you have latency stuff because a lot of the stuff you want to be like at least soft real time, right? So basically now you're at the edge. You need the server in the store. So this is obviously one thing. And then I think earlier we also did this where we use case specific, and we try to sort of find the right hardware for every little use case. But this then leads to sort of a situation where you're really building an IoT company by accident because every store gets 20 new devices. So this is, we think, probably not the way to go because you have a lot of maintenance. You need to go to store the entire time. So our model is like, I think, sort of down the road, right? Because there's so much potential in this. Sort of every store should have sort of one, let's say, server grade thing in there that is sort of capable of running computer vision and AI. And so getting that there, maintaining it there, that's obviously something that you kind of need to take care of. But I think we've been able to successfully do this quite well. So this is doable. I think in terms of other challenges, sort of just hooking everything up comes to mind, right? You don't need to, like, if you work with sort of supermarket chains or something like that, kind of do it once and replicate it. But I mean, retail is offline retail. It's like physical stuff. So there's actually physical changes, like the physical server needs to go into the physical
you
store.
have logistic constraint.
Right. And you do wiring, you do cables. Then it's like, what do you do with this
put
stuff?
a server in a place that is not a data center. So.
Exactly. It's not clean, maybe, right? And yeah. So that's one of them. And then the other part is sort of now we have the server in the store. The data is flowing to the server. The server is kind of doing its thing. But then, you need to get that output from the thing that you're doing, right? The apps that you're using with computer vision now, you need to get that back to the people, right?
Yeah.
Be it customers, be it employees. And that also needs to happen real time. It also needs to happen in the store, and it needs to sort of fit their processes, right? So it's just sort of a different kind of animal than just sort of spinning up your cloud service.
Like we are going to discuss during our keynote session, like later. Like we are going to understand also how this data will be connected with other entity beasts, like the metaverse or digital twin of a store. So like everything gets more and more complex, and you need to find a nice way to do all these connection. There might be cabling, like physical cabling, or it might be like a data connection, like a software stack connection, and so forth. There is
you have connectivity, right? Do you do 4G? Do you hook it up 5G?
Like 6G?
Do you hook it up to the store?
Absolutely.
Is that safe?
Absolutely. Yeah, really. Like,
but I mean, it's cool, right? Because it allows you, like, it's hard, but you get to sort of push the frontier to sort of where compute happens. A bit further, right? So toward the real world.
It's interesting that this is happening, like in something that you don't think it might be, like a lab or some sort of place for cutting edge technology, but it's actually, and we discussed this already during our first conversation. You see how retail is basically this kind of industry are actually driving more of the, like most of the innovation in technology, and vice versa. They are consuming that technology to improving the business and to face what are the, like some of the biggest challenges for this industry nowadays, like competing with e-stores or being like integrating omni-channel marketing into a persisting like a kind of market like business model. So all these things are really getting like a needing for advancement in technology. Really super interesting. We will have more chances to discuss between us, like, and with the customer. You want to add something more as a conclusion? Like, where should they find you?
Yeah, I mean, I think, on this whole thing, we're just getting started. It's still early days. I think, it's reached a point of maturity where you could really do stuff, deploy things to sort of thousands of stores, which is already happening today. And I think, like we see here, it's a big thing. You need more and more automation. So it's harder and harder to staff stores. I think this is going to be really interesting. Every retailer is going to need to have this, and it's a fun ride. So I'm more than happy to be here. I think we do the booth together at Lenovo, right? We think Hall 6. G57, and
we have the SE450 and 350, which are the infrastructure you are currently running your application on. And we have a nice video to showcase what are the main functionality at our booth, like the All 6 and booth G57.
57,
exactly. And we have a nice, like we are also nicely hosted by you. At ETAB, right?
Yeah. We have another one where we also do some live demos. It's, I think, Hall 10, A42.
So to C42.
To C42.
It's pretty huge. Like,
it's pretty huge.
It's absolutely nice. Like it's an entire supermarket with a restaurant, and you see all the application running. You can see post-estimation of customer, all these sorts of AI, very advanced AI computer vision application. So it's really cool.
Great how they always build a city
there
here, right? Yeah. No, more than happy. If you have any questions, come and find us. It's been a pleasure to talk to you, Valerio, as always.
Your website?
You can find us at www.signatrix.com. Computer vision platform for retailers. Making all of this as easy as can be. So, really
cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Valerio.